to all of this, we have to consume the word to even obtain to obtain any of the whole of any of the verses without being filled with the word. Then it's pretty much impossible to grow.
What you thought about the fruit of righteousness? Fruits of righteousness. What you when you saw that? What you thought about on that one?
I was just thinking like being blessed, you know, by the way that you're living, you know. So
That's a high. And think about this. In all, like we were saying, the righteousness fruits, the fruits of, and he says the fruits of righteousness, and he turns around on us. And when we start thinking about this, when we start thinking about that, you're right. It's because of the way we live in, there are some benefits. We don't have to wait to get. We don't have to wait to get to heaven to get the benefits. Some of the benefits are right here. And I did see this when we started on the observation list, which are about Jesus Christ. You know what I thought about when I got out of there? What I thought about because we just went through the Beatitudes. We just went through it, and I tied it right back to the Beatitudes when I saw this. I saw all the blessings if we have the right attitudes. If we have all that, he says, which are by Jesus Christ. And we start thinking about what Jesus Christ says, the meek, the humble, the peacemakers. All of these, when we do those things, remember they all had a blessing with it that came along with it. If you do these things, you know, the pure in heart will receive the earth. And all of the righteousness, all of the fruits. And when I saw that when I did it this time. And I never saw it before, but when I put off the screen it says, which are by Jesus Christ, I know what those are. I know I get those when I'm righteous, when I'm doing what God wants me to be, only because we had just tied it back to the Beatitudes. Because each one of those attitudes deals with righteousness. If I'm going to live in the kingdom that God has presented, that's there. And so Lee's right. If we look at that, comes out there in the fruits of righteousness. That means that when I do these things, there are some benefits to what I'm doing. There are some outcomes I can expect because I'm living this way. And sometimes I got to be patient for them. Sometimes we got to go through some stuff. Sometimes the nights are long. But the outcome of it, which are by Jesus Christ, He's already promised us that. And that's to the glory and the praise of God. Anything else in verse 11 that we see or interpret or application?
One thing that I was thinking about as you were going through verse 11, to help understand where you to go and pull the fruits of the Spirit and plump them in where it says fruits of righteousness.
Yeah.
And then it kind of, okay, this makes sense, the love, the joy, the gentleness, to help understand that verse a little bit more.
I didn't think about that, but yeah, if you go to Galatians and pull the fruits of the Spirit in here, that lines up right with that too. It says that we know because of our righteousness, this comes out of it. Here are the fruits that comes out. And fruit, and always that when we think about fruit, sometimes we think about that we bear this for other people. But because we're what God wants us to be, and we're in the circle of that, we can eat of other people's fruit as we go through. And that's how come it says, don't never forsake the extending of us, because we need to have each other's fruit. We need to have that, you know, it's good to come around people who are like-minded, going in the same direction, and have the same spirit and doing the same thing. Because what it does is it elevates you up. And so you're right. When you put that there, it's and like I say, that's a deep thought I never thought about. When we put it there, it adds even more so, because Paul says, I want you to do more and more of this. Why is he saying that? Because Paul, when he starts his writing Philippians, man, he's excited to write them. He's so happy that, you know, when you did all you can and your child is doing what it's supposed to be, or your team is doing what it's supposed to do because you put the work into it, I can imagine, I'm going to use, when you have students that you put effort into, and you see them 10 years later, and you see what your labor was about, and you see it, I mean, Paul, he's in jail, but he's overwhelmed that God, you're not living up to it, but people are talking about how you are doing. And so that's kind of exciting information to have. I had a chance to talk to Pastor Turner this week, and he was, and all of he's doing. I went to pick up something, and he stopped me. It was kind of cold outside. He wanted to talk a long time. I love you, Pastor Turner, but it's kind of cold out here. Can't you pick up one more day? Why don't you call me later? I got like 8 things to do. But he was overwhelmed about the word he hears from Raleigh. I guess when I told him that we had bought land, he said, I can't believe you bought land. Well, Pastor, I ain't bought not 1 inch of land. Not 1 inch. Well, smart, so up and down, you had 11 acres. That's another friendship. It ain't this friendship. I have to tell Pat, you got 4 friendships now. You know, you got Trinity, you got Mesquite friendship, you got Rockwall friendship, you got. It's another one of those friendships. It's not this friendship. He said, nah, he's up and down. It was y'all. Y'all doing great things. Like the pastor, we talked about 5. We talked about 5. We moved past talking about 5, but it was excitement. It was the idea that he was hearing good things about what's going on here. And SBTC sends their best. I met with them today. They told me to keep doing what y'all doing, but do more of it. Let me go out and embrace more folks. There's some more folks to be saved. So yeah, if you plot that in there, that'll be great. Verse 12. Anything on verse 12 comes off the page to anybody? I don't know if I heard anybody say anything about verse 12. Understand? That you should understand. We talked about this last week. The Barnes were here, and we kept saying how Paul was reacting to where he was located, his circumstances, his trials, and he was, I told y'all last week, if I was with y'all, I don't think I have the same attitude that he had, but he had a great attitude. And so he places word understanding, so you're right, the word understanding comes out. Anything else that stands out here? I like this part right here. The furtherance of the gospel. I'm big on this, that everything we go through is not necessarily meant for us. And Paul understood this more than anything that as he went through stuff, it wasn't necessarily for him, but it was about the furtherance of the gospel. He always looked at opportunities and said, my struggles was meant for somebody else to grow. And so, so the right, the word understand, he wants to understand that trials and tribulations are going to come. Sometimes it's not meant just for you. It's meant for someone else to see you go through it. It's meant for your child, your spouse, your brother, your cousin, to go through it. And so our trials are not just for us personally. It could be for somebody else to see. And that's why I highlight happened unto me. The understanding what happened unto me for the furtherance of the gospel. And as those come off the page, what are we going through right now that is considered further of the gospel? Do we even think about the further of the gospel? Do we ever think that, because we always say, let your light so shine so men may see your good works. Do you think it's good works in your troubles? That how you handle your bad situation shows your good works. How you don't cuss folk out when every opportunity to cuss folk out. When every opportunity for you to choke somebody, you don't choke somebody. Not only do other people see it, but that person knows, he should have choked me. He should have choked me. He did. Why didn't you choke me? They ask you that question. You could have went out. Why didn't you go off? Go ahead, Sister Lynn.
But you can also look at it like not just doing something to someone, but doing something for someone. Because when you do things for people, sometimes they wonder, why are they being nice? Why are they doing this? And then they want to know more about you, and that's when you can share the gospel with them.
That's the perfect example of furthering the gospel. People might never walk into a church. People might never know whatever, but we can share elements of our life pieces of our life that now the gospel has been furthered. Because if we tell folk, man, how do you do that? Man, I don't know, man, I just trust in Jesus Christ. Yeah, man, but I keep hearing that. You saw me go through it. And you saw, I'm telling you how I made it through it. It wasn't because I'm too man, whatever. It's because of Jesus Christ. It's because all my friends who, everyone who I work with, that I'm close with, that I share my testimony with, they know I have one saying. As things start to happen, it's one word I say. I say, breathe. I tell them, breathe. Breathe. Let Jesus in by breathing him in. And they know when they're going through, I say, what I'm going to say, just breathe. And again, they say, why is that? Because I'm showing you that by breathing, I'm sharing the gospel. It's God. God is in you. And so we can do more than just show people a Bible or hand them a business card with our church name on it. Or tell them, hey, if you go to YouTube, we got about 4 or 5 videos out there. You see my pastor, he'll tell you how to, sometimes it's just us showing people how or doing something or those things. So you're right, Sister Lou.
You just said, some people may never see about it, but they may not ever see the pages of a Bible. But through us, we should be the pages of the Bible. And I think once we get that understanding about things that happen, we can be more transparent. And the more transparent we are, the more they can see the pages of the Bible in us and through us. Like Sister Williams was saying about, that doing something for somebody. The effect that it has on them and the effect it has on the people that they tell about it. Especially those people that know you, especially if they knew you back when. Then they start to see the pages.
I like that, what you're saying. Because watch this. What's the cost of doing good when everything in your body says do wrong? What's the cost of when people telling you you should have did bad and you do wrong? I mean, you do good. And this is just me how I see what Paul says here, that my bonds in Christ are manifested in all the palace. I don't think he was talking about his physical restraints. I think he was talking about everything that was costed to me for the gospel. When you go out of your way to help someone who don't like you, and you know it, there's a sacrifice within you to do that, and that's because I'm a bond servant to Christ. So everything that I'm held to do in Christ now is manifested in the palace, and so all of the restraints, all of the stuff that he dealt with, manifesting in his body, now being seen by what? The palace, the soldiers. Do you know when history tells us that the gospel was spread faster by the Roman soldiers? Edison here, my history nerd. The gospel was spread as fast through the Roman soldiers, just as fast as it was through just regular church folk. That the soldiers took, at one point, Rome had most of what we consider South Asia, what we consider North Africa, what we consider South Europe, that whole area up to North Europe. Rome took all that. And what happened was, as they conquered more land, the soldiers took the gospel with them when they captured other lands. And so when he says this, he says, the palace and all other places, and even in translation, some translations say palace and soldiers and guards of other places. And so through what Paul was doing and what people were doing to show Christ in them, as soldiers would do things to them, and they still stood for Christ. This is why I tell folks, well, why would people give their life if the gospel was fake? A person will only carry a lie so far. A person ain't going to take a lie to, matter of fact, they ain't even going to jail for a lie. If they say, well, yeah, I don't know, I gotta go to jail. No, it was him, I didn't do it, that was him. I ain't spent no time in jail. No, I was just playing. Playing. And you gonna think I'm a die for it? No, I ain't seen nothing. You have to have it in you. And so the soldiers start to recognize not only and we'll it gets more in detail to get to the bottom, but it says manifest in all the place. I think ESV said something different. Let me just flip a little bit. ESV says, happened, so it became known throughout the whole imperial, so that it became known throughout the whole imperial guard and to the rest that imprisonment is for Christ. So it was saying that it not only went on to the palace, but it went to the imperial guard. The imperial guards, you had regular guards, and the imperial guard were the guards that actually protected the princes, the kings, and all them. So the imperial guard was the supreme guards of all guards. And they were even recognizing Christ through the bondage of the Christian. And so I say that we might have